Chodesh Tov, everyone that's joining us, and by the time this reaches you, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
I'm Patrick, if you haven't met before. I'm joining you from Moonee Ponds in Melbourne.
And I'm Beth. I'm joining from Geelong.
So we normally run a monthly service, late-ed service, Hineinu. We're normally together in the same room. We're putting something together to the best of our ability to still keep our spirits up. And we will begin praying out of Mishkan Tefillah on page 128. So Beth and I will have crafted together a Kabbalat Shabbat service, but we have not included the Ma'ariv prayer service. And we hope this, by the time this reaches you, it will bring you peacefully into Shabbat. Ki yashmera Shabbat el yishmereni. Ki yashmera Shabbat el yishmereni. Oti leomead beno veni. Oti leomead beno veni.
Ki Heshmer Shabbat El Yishmereni. Ki Heshmer Shabbat El Yishmereni. Oti leomead beno veni. Oti leomead beno veni.
When I keep Shabbat, God watches over me. It is a sign forever between God and me. And we continue through the Kabbalat Shabbat Psalms with a mixture of song and silent davening on 130. Lecho neranana l'Adonai, nariya l'tzor yeshenu.
בוא נשתחווה ונקרא, נבראך לפני אדוני עושינו, כי הוא אלוהינו, ואנחנו אמריתו בצאן ידו, היום אם בקולו תשמעו. Psalm 96, page 131. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya 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 la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la ya la, ya la 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 la. Shiru l'Adonai, shir chadash, shiru l'Adonai, kol haaretz, shiru l'Adonai, baruch shemo, basru miyom yom yeshuato, sapru v'goyim kevodo, bechol ha'amim nifleotav, ki gadol Adonai, umehulal meod, norahu, al kol Elohim, hai ki kol Elohe ha'amim elelim, v'Adonai shmayim asa. Hod v'hada lefanav os v'tiferet b'mikdasho yalai lalai lai yalai yalai yismachu hashamayim v'tagal haaretz yiram hayam umelo yalo sadai v'kol asher bo lai 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 Ranenu kol atzeya lifnei Adonai kiva lishpot haaretz yishpot tevel betzedek ve'amim be'emunato yalai lai lai yai lai 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 lai.
Adonai malach takel haaretz yismechu im rabim.
Simchu tzarakim v'Adonai v'hodu lezecher kodsho.
We've reached Psalm 98 on page 133. Yalai la 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 la, yai la la, yalai la 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 la, yalai la la, yalai la la, yalai la la la, yalai la la, mizmor shiru l'Adonai, shir chadash. כי נפלאות עשה, הושיע לו ימינו, וזרוע קודשו, הודי אדוני ישועתו, לעיני הגויים גילה צדקתו, זכר חסדו ואמונתו, לבית ישראל. ראו לכל עושי הארץ, את ישועת אלוהינו הריעו לאדוני כל הארץ, פיצחו ורננו וזמרו, זמרו לאדוני בכינו, בכינו וכל זמרה. בחצוצרות וקול שופר, הריעו לפני המלך אדוני, ירם הים ומלוא, תבל ויושבה, נהרות ימחאו כף, יחד הרים ירננו לפני אדוני קיבה, לשפוט הארץ, ישפוט תבל בצדק, ועמים במשרים. אדוני מלך יגזו עמים, יושב קרובים תנות הארץ.
Omemu Adonai Eloheinu, v'ishtachavu lehakodsho, ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu. Psalm 29, page 136. Yai, dai, 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 dai. Yai, dai, 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 dai. Yai, dai, 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 dai. Dai, dai, dai. Mizmor leDavid, havu l'Adonai b'nei Elim. Havu l'Adonai kavod va'oz, yai lai lai. Havu l'Adonai kevod shemo, ishtachavu l'Adonai beharat kodesh, kol Adonai al hamayim el hakavod hirim. Adonai al mayim rabim, kol Adonai ba'koach, yai lai lai. Kol Adonai behada, kol Adonai shove arazim, וישפר אדוני את ארזי הלבנון, וירקידם כמו עגל לבנון, וסיריון כמו בן רמים. לי כל אדוני הוצב להבודש, כל אדוני יחיל מדבר, יחיל אדוני מדבר קדש, כל אדוני יחויל איילות, ויחשוף יערות ובהיכלו, כולו אומר כבוד, אדוני לה בו ישב, וישב אדוני מלך לעולם, אדוני עוז לעמו ייתן, אדוני יברך את עמו בשלום. Hi, 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 hi. Hi, 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 hi. Hi, 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 hi. Hi, 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 hi.
So as we reach page 138, I encourage us all just to take a couple of deep breaths and let go of the week that was and the month that was as we enter the first Shabbat in the month of Elul. And we've reached the Kabbalistic poem Chaludi. A few deep breaths. Lecha dodi likrat kala, Penei Shabbat nekabel, Lecha dodi likrat kala, Penei Shabbat nekabela, Lecha dodi likrat kala, Penei Shabbat nekabela, Lecha dodi likrat kala, Penei Shabbat nekabela, Shamo v'zacho b'dibur echad, Hishmi'anu el ha'meuchad, Adonai echad u'shemo echad. L'Hashem u'tiferet ve'litila, Lecha dodi likrat kala, Penei Shabbat nekabela, Lecha dodi likrat kala, Penei Shabbat nekabela, Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, Ki mekor habracha merosh mikerem nesucha. Sof ma'aseh b'machshavati la, Lecha dodi likrat kala, Penei Shabbat nekabela, Lecha dodi likrat shala, Penei Shabbat nekabela, Hitna'ari me'afar kumi, Livshi bigdei tifartechami, Al yad yeben yishai beit halachmi, Korva nafshi gala.
Lecha dodi likrat kala, Penei Shabbat nekabela, Lecha dodi likrat kala, Penei Shabbat nekabela, Hitoreri kiva orek, Kumi uri, שידבר כבוד אדוני, עלייך נגלה לחדותי, לקרא קלה, פני שבת נקבלה לחדותי, לקרא קלה, פני שבת נקבלה, ימין ושמאל תפרוטי ואת אדוני, תריצי על יד ישבן, פרצי ונשמחה ונגילה לחדותי, לקרא קלה, פני שבת נקבלה לחדותי, לקרא קלה, פני שבת נקבלה, בואי ושלום, עטרת בעלה גם בשמחה, ובצהלתו כמוני עם סגולה, בואי חלה, בואי חלה. לחדותי, לקרא קלה, פני שבת נקבלה, לחדותי, לקרא קלה, פני שבת נקבלה, יאי לי לי לי, יאי לי 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 לי, יאי לי 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 לי, יאי לי 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 לי, יאי לי לי לחדותי, לקרא קלה, פני שבת נקבלה, לחדותי, לקרא קלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
Psalm 92 and 140, a psalm for Shabbat. Yai lai lai, yai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 lai. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, ולזמר לשמך עליון. להגיד בבוקר חסדך, ואמונתך בלילות. עלי עשור ועלי נעל, עלי היגיון מכינו. כי שימחתני אדוני בפועלך, במעשה ידיך ארנן. מה גדלו מעשיך אדוני, מאוד עמקו מחשבותיך. איש פעל לא ידע, וכסיל לא יבין עצות. יאי לי 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 לי, יאי לי 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 לי.
צדיק כתמר יפרח, כארץ בלבנון יזכה. שתולים בבית אדוני, בחצרות אלוהינו יפריחו. עוד ינובון בסבע, דשנים ורעננים יהיו. להגיד כי אשר אדוני, צורי ולא עוולת בו.
Psalm 93 on page 141. Yai dai dai dai, dai dai dai, yai dai 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 dai, yai dai dai dai, yai dai 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 dai. Adonai Malach Lavesh Adonai Oz Hitazar Avtikon tevel batimot Nachon kisachameaz Ne'olamat Ta.
Nasun eharot Adonai, Nasun eharot kolam. Yisun eharot tokyam. Mikolot mayim rabim, adirim mishpereyam. Adir b'marom Adonai, edotecha ne'emenu me'od, levetecha nava kodesh Adonai leorek yamim. Yai dai 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 dai. Yai dai 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 dai. Yai dai 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 dai. Yai dai 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 dai.
We now close our Kabbalat Shabbat service on 144 with the half Kaddish. Yai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai lai. Yitkadal ve'yitkadash Shemei Rabba.
Amen.
Ve'alma tivrach chiruteh, ve'amlich malchuteh, b'chayechon u'b'yomechon, u'chayei kol beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'bizman kariv, ve'imru amen.
Amen. Yehi Shem Rabba Mevorach Le'alam. Ulamei Almaya Yitbarach.
Yitbarach v'yishtabach, yitba'av yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal, shemei lekudesha b'richu.
Brichu.
Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiran be'alma, ve'imru amen.
Amen.
So we come to the part in Hineinu services where we would normally have a discussion, Divrei Torah, if you like. And Beth and I, when we formed Hineinu, we created the idea around exploring the prayers in the Siddur. So we shall do that. We have been working our way through a roster of basically one prayer each week out of the evening service. And we are taking a detour, if you like, this month. I'm going to flick you forward to 378 if you want to follow the text with us. 378. And we're going to explore the Birkat HaChodesh, so the blessing for the new month. And normally we would offer this blessing the Shabbat prior to the new moon coming of the month. So the new moon of Elul is actually tonight when we're recording this, but by the time it reaches you, it's last night. So you're still celebrating the first day of Elul, or entering the second day on Shabbat. And so we would have announced this last Shabbat in the Torah service. So we actually, it'll become clear why Beth and I chose this for this month, this month's Hineinu. And so let's have a look at the text. You can see there's four sort of parts or four paragraphs to this blessing, the way it's set out in our Siddur. So I'll just sort of draw some highlights out for us and then share some ideas. So it starts off, do you want to read the first page, Beth, the 378, the English of both paragraphs?
Yeah, sure. Our God and God of our ancestors, may the new month bring us goodness and blessing. May we have long life, peace and prosperity, a life exalted by love of Torah and reverence for the divine, a life in which the longings of our hearts are fulfilled for good. May the one who in ancient days led our people from slavery to freedom redeem us now from our exile from one another, making all Israel one united people.
So the new month of Elul will begin tonight, Thursday night. We would have recited this last Saturday, and we would have said the new month of Elul will begin this coming Thursday. And then we say, may it be good for us, Haba Aleinu ve'al kol Israel ve'al kol bnei Adam, for everyone, all humanity, as well as the Jewish people. And may it be the will of the Holy One ever to be praised, that it bring for us and for the whole house of Israel and for all humanity life and peace, happiness and joy, deliverance and consolation. And let us say,
Amen.
Amen. So you can see there below the line, we've sort of established the custom that we offer that the Shabbat before. So I guess for those familiar, and you can see on the bottom of 378 a little overview of the Hebrew calendar there, and each month is sort of infused with its own sort of energy, which is, I come from a sort of a Jewish teaching of Kabbalistic thought, and it becomes particularly interesting because they bring some zodiology into it. So the month we're entering is the month of Elul, which is zodiologically linked to the Virgo, which is my star sign actually. And Virgo is the sign of purity, of returning. So the idea of Elul is to return back to sort of a pure, cleaner state. And that comes directly before the month of Tishrei, which is zodiologically linked to the Libra, the scales, where things are balanced out and weighed up. And so, you know, Kabbalistically, all the months are linked zodiologically, and they are infused with their own energy. And then we have, you know, months like Adar, where Purim falls, is traditionally a very joyous month, the month of Adar. And the month of Av is a much more sorrowful month. So with the new month, this blessing, it really kind of draws in the energy infused in the coming month. And we sort of see it as like a seed that can come to full fruition through the month. And I think it's a part of Judaism that I probably haven't engaged with as much of recent years, but I think there is something to be said for just taking stock every 30 or so days, you know, every moon cycle, and just thinking, okay, what's coming, what's been. So I'll throw over to Beth to share some of her ideas, what she came up with.
I mean, I love that you are talking about planting the seed that will come to fruition this month, because I think that's how I'm going into Elul this year. Is the seed I want to plant is how I'm going to celebrate this year in the climate that we have, how I want to celebrate Rosh Hashanah with my family in isolation. I want to come up with some really beautiful and meaningful ideas that can, just make it a really joyous occasion with Archie's first Rosh Hashanah. And I will plant that seed in my mind as of today, and hopefully it'll come to fruition.
come to fruition. So, and we said, that each month had its energy, its focus, and the focus for Elul is, as we're probably all aware, introspection. So we turn inwards. And I think, Beth and I were talking just before, it's a nice time to remind ourselves that, yes, there's a lot going on in the outside world, the larger, and it's a nice time to come in, look inside our houses, look inside our homes, our families, our hearts, as we move toward a new year. May it be a better one. So in anticipation of a better year, may we have a lead up, a better month ahead. And the month of Elul. Chodesh Tov Elul, everyone. So we now flick back. We will skip the Ma'ariv prayer for tonight, which gives you a chance to hop over to any other service you may otherwise be attending online. And we will finish up with some blessings for Shabbat to help you settle in. So on page 122, I will not make a full blessing for you, but just remind us how the energy of the day that we're entering. Vayhi erev vayhi voker yom hashishi, and there was evening and there was morning the sixth day. Vayachulu hashemayim v'haretz v'chol seva'am. And the heaven and the earth were finished, and all their array. Vayachal Elohim vayom hashvi'i melachto asher asa. On the seventh day, God finished the work that God had been doing. Vayishbot vayom hashvi'i mikol melachto asher asa. And God ceased on the seventh day from all the work that had been done. Vayivarech Elohim et yom hashvi'i vayekadesh oto ki vo Shabbat mikol melachto asher bara Elohim la'asot. Then God blessed the seventh day and made it holy, because on it God ceased from making all the work of creation. So, before we welcome our angels, we will turn back a page. And I probably should have entered this the time before, but that's fine. We're still blessing. And a blessing for both boys and girls that's inclusive of everybody. Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless you and keep you. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chonecha. May God's light shine upon you, and may God be gracious to you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha ve'yasem lecha shalom. May you feel God's presence within you always, and may you find peace.
Can you hear our son?
So maybe a very quick announcement before we welcome the Shabbat angels, which we can flick forward to from page 142. So this was our monthly Hineinu slot for August. I'm trying to remember which month we're in.
We're in August, yes.
And entering Elul. So as you're probably aware, we normally fall on the third Friday each month, which next month will actually be Rosh Chodesh Tishrei, aka Rosh Hashanah. So we will not gather for Hineinu on that night. We will. It's still in the works. We'll update you if we have a service for September, because there's a few changing, moving parts, and we're not sure where we'll be at that stage. So we can't, we'll get back to you on that one, but that'll be. But if we don't see you in September, we shall definitely see you again in October.
Yes.
But we'll keep you posted. We hope to see you in September and bring you a very special Hineinu for the high holidays. So in the meantime, we welcome our Shabbat angels 142.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech Malchei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Boachem leshalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech Malchei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Barchuni leshalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Seitchem leshalom, malachei shalom, malachei elyon. Melech malchei hamalachim hakadosh baruch hu. That's it for us from this month. Shabbat shalom, everyone, and Chodesh Tov Elul.
Shabbat Shalom. See you next time.